All right. Well, I want to give kudos where that belongs
All
to
right.
your son, Brigade, and Jay here, who hooked up a new microphone today. So hopefully everyone is hearing us.
Yes, yes. So today's panel we have Dr. WEISS, Jay URBANIak, Pastor Blake, Samaj, Pastor...
Wait. Who's this guy on my right?
What did I say his name was?
Samaj?
What's wrong with that?
Oh, my gracious. Well, he hadn't been here for how long, right? Yeah. He was on paternity leave. Can you believe paternity leave? Oh, my Lord. Have you ever heard of anything like that, Doc? Paternity leave?
Never have.
Yeah.
You know, that didn't exist in the 1900s.
Hey,
I'm sorry about that.
Dr. Underwood delivered me. My father dropped my mom off at the hospital, went to work, said, have a boy, and came back. That was his paternity leave.
Wow.
You guys are sissies in this generation.
Oh my God.
Right? Come on.
Yeah, indeed.
Anyway, so maybe they should tell us a little bit about what they do before we head forward. What do you think? Doc,
Well,
start with you.
I'm a recently retired veterinarian and a seminary student.
Seminary student.
Yeah.
What are you learning?
Hebrew right now. It's really fun, let me tell you. Yeah, it's stressing me out every Tuesday and Thursday.
You got it. Jay?
Yeah, I work in marketing for a digital marketing agency. We do graphic design, web design, SEO, SEM, and now we're embracing artificial intelligence and integrating that into our workflows.
Yeah, you did our ad for this week. It was very nice.
Mostly created by AI.
Yeah. And this guy on my left, what's he do?
Who?
You.
Me? Oh, you didn't get that far yet.
Oh, no.
I run Wigs and Wishes and I run our salon.
Yes, you do. When's your big gala?
November 2nd, live casino.
Right around the corner.
Right around the corner.
Yeah. To my right,
Hi, I'm Samad. I'm the youth pastor at GCCC.
and
What else you want me to say?
recent dad.
I'm a new dad. Yeah, I'm living in a lot of joy.
Yeah.
I'm a new dad. I'm a new dad. I'm living, man. I got the cutest, most handsome son in the world. Yep.
Well, I have to tell you, you need to thank the Lord Blake was your pastor, because if you thought you were going to get paternity leave under me, you're dreaming.
Oh, thank God. This is my God. This is a joke, right?
Should have worked at Apple. Yeah, 6 months at Apple.
Oh man, it's ridiculous.
Pastor Blake?
Yeah, I'm Blake, pastor at Gloucester County Community Church, and had the pleasure of following up our founder and forever friend, Pastor Bruce.
Yes, sir.
Well, on that note, welcome to Hijack Life Live, where we believe that God rescues the dreams that have been shattered by the cruelties and injustices of life, a.k.a. we are the other you.
So, PB, what made you select today's topic?
Well, our president, Donald Trump, would like America to be the AI, that is artificial intelligence capital of the world. Mm-hmm. And AI has infiltrated, as Jay mentioned, every aspect of our lives. Listen, mail with legitimate stationery saying you owe X amount of money, and all those kind of things are all AI generated. My grandson, Levi, he took out a bank account with TD, just old enough to have his own bank account. He takes out this bank account. Within 2 or 3 days, he gets a notice from TD Bank asking him to fill out this form. The whole thing was fake. They literally took the $2,200 or whatever he started his bank account with, every penny, and he couldn't get it back. And it took him months to establish an account. It was all AI generated.
Wow.
So that's kind of why we're talking about this subject.
Yeah.
I have about $30 million in Bitcoin right now for all I'm buying in my emails every day.
Is that right? Well, you should cash it in.
Yeah, I don't know where it is.
Martin could use some of it for the gala, right?
That's right.
So why this panel?
Well, because I think, Doc's very educated along these lines, and Jay literally works in it. And, Pastor Blake's going to have to live with it and deal with it as we move forward, and the rest of us too. Mm-hmm. So I thought, and I personally feel, that AI will be a generated character in the Satanic Trinity. We'll get there. Doc feels it'll be the beast. and it won't be a real person. It'll be AI generated, and that in the last days, AI is going to be a major part of the deception. That's what I believe. So anyway, what are your thoughts, Doc? Why don't you give us a little?
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in this. Basically, you know, I look at the Bible with everything, and because of the progressive revelation in the Bible and the movement, both here domestically and internationally, to propel humanity towards a new advanced level of existence, is a reason why I think everybody should be concerned. The scriptures reveal that a cosmic battle has been in play ever since God created the first two humans on earth. And Satan and his demonic army of fallen angels have been at war with God throughout all his creation. And he's preparing to carry out his plan to control the entire world by creating his own one-world government, economy, and religion. And the prophetic scriptures confirm that Satan will in fact accomplish this catastrophic goal at a future time, known as the Great Tribulation, and will incorporate every possible means to accomplish this mission, including the use of technology and science, to deceive the whole world into embracing his anti-God and anti-biblical plan to become the true God of the world. So it's a major, major issue, and we're like a train going downhill with no brakes.
Okay, Jay.
Yeah, so as I said, you know, I've been following AI now probably for a little over 2 years. When it first came onto the scene, you know, I heard about the ability to generate pictures of hamburgers from nothing, and I just really didn't really understand how that worked. But if you kind of take the fact that a photograph is just a bunch of zeros and ones digitally, and you can train these computer systems to understand that this order of numbers creates a hamburger, then the patterning programmed in the computer, the computer can now generate its own hamburgers. The problem with this is that where we started publicly a little over 2 years ago has progressed so rapidly that the ability to now generate imagery, video with accompanying audio has become so realistic that even trained eyes can't tell the difference. I mean, you have to really look for like hazing and the way that pixels interact with each other. But most recently in the news, OpenAI, which is the leader behind ChatGPT, released something called Sora 2. And in its first few days, this has taken over social media with celebrity recreations and accompanying audio of things that these celebrities would never do. So much so that they had to pull the reins on it and put copyright protection and put in these boundaries that, you know, should be there in the first place. Yeah. The implications for this would be, you know, with video being the de facto standard to say you did something or you didn't do something, now I can generate the President of the United States sitting in the Oval Office saying something that he did not say. Where do we go from here?
No, that's great. Let's look at Pastor Blake and Samaj. Your thoughts on this before we move forward?
Yeah, you know, everything is a tool for good or evil, right? Anything amoral. You know, there are things in society that we receive, there are things in society that we reject, and then there's things in society that we redeem. And so I think the challenge in the church will be...
Is that a little pastoral
alliteration? Oh, yeah, that's pastoral alliteration. Yes, the 3 R's, right? That's what we have to do with everything in culture. We receive it, we reject it, or we redeem it, and right? And so, I mean, we're coming up on the Halloween. Some Christians completely reject it. You and I have gotten flack for years for redeeming it. Like, that's what we choose to do, is we redeem it. This tool I look at very similarly, and I try to look through every lens of, well, how can I use this then for positive and for good, right? If I can take, if I can increase social media presence of the church, if I can increase audio presence of the church, visualization of the church, if I can increase connectivity of the church through this tool, great. If I can teach people how to use proper boundaries and lean into then the importance of IRL experiences, right? With the increase of AI and people really then struggling with realistic whether truth is relative or not, I think we can lean into as Christians. This is why church matters.
Yeah.
This is why you attend church live. This is why you go to church in real life. IRL experiences matter. This is why real community, Bible study, getting together matters. I think if pastors don't run away afraid of a tool, that they can truly take what the enemy meant for evil, and turn it into a positive.
Yeah, as Jay was saying, like when you buy a product, it'll say pros and cons, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And certainly that's the pros. The con is that Pastor Blake could say something he never said,
Yes.
and somebody believe it and use it to say, "See,
Defame
this
my
is
character."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samash?
I mean,
That's never happened to a pastor before, PB, as you know.
Oh, I know.
Nobody's ever defamed a pastor's character.
I know that. They don't need to. They don't need to. We're good at doing it ourselves. Who was I read? Teddy Roosevelt said, you know, in more cases than not, when things get messed up, it's probably you kicking yourself in the pants. You know? I thought, oh, that's true.
I mean,
Go ahead.
I just think it needs discernment. Like, you need to understand, or like, just everything's not what it seems to be, and you need to like what Pastor Blake said. Come to church. You need to come to church and have these real experiences, because what people have a hard time understanding is that, you know, people are really that gullible on the internet. I mean, you could see something that's clearly like I got into it with my uncle a few months ago. He's clearly not even talking to me, because he sent me an AI generated video of the president of Liberia scolding like people of like America, and I was like, well, I said I appreciate you sending this to me, but Uncle, it's not real. Mm-hmm. And he texted me back this long paragraph and was like, however, the subject matter is true. We have racist leaders in this. I'm like, dude, like, it's literally not a real video, and you're telling me that it's real. And it's like, the fact, and what scares me is just how gullible we're becoming as a nation, and it needs deep discernment. And I think we need to understand how crucial this can be if people are just going to fall for the lie like that.
Okay, let's give its definition, Martino.
Well, there's levels of AI, right? Brigade showed me this cute little baby giraffe that was just born. It was about this big, and I said, if you think that's the size of a newborn giraffe, then you better think that I have 12 heads. And he thought it was so cute, but it was AI. So there's level of deception with AI, right? So let's look at it. AI is the ability of computer systems to perform complex tasks that typically require human intelligence, such as reasoning, decision-making, and learning. It works by using algorithms, often powered by neural networks, to analyze vast amounts of data, to find patterns, make predictions, improve performance, and over time, without direct human oversight. Key subfields include machine learning, which enables systems to learn from data and what is that? Generative AI, which can create new content such as text and images.
Yeah, so let's look at how it works. So each panel member can elaborate here on your little thought.
Yeah.
But this is broken down when you do your research. It'll tell you how it works, that for instance, data and analysis. Thank you. Boy, sometimes, you know, your brain just sees it backwards. Learning and improvement and so forth. So if you want to comment a little extra, you can. So Jay, let's start with you on data analysis.
Yeah, so I mean, as I said before, the way that the AI works is that it's fed a data set, and it is able to very quickly analyze patterns that it sees, and that's how it creates the generative aspect of imagery, or how ChatGPT will, if you say fix up a paragraph, it'll basically spit something out, but based on best practices that it's seen from billions and billions of other examples, it's going to, create that faster than any human could ever do. One of the things that is notable about AI is how much processing power and energy is required to run these centers that house the AI, because ultimately everything that happens with AI is happening at a data center. And why Apple is so late to the game is what they're trying to do is have it run locally on your iPhone. So But one thing I wanted to mention in relation to the data is that as we progress, we have all of these companies, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google with Gemini, they're all basically gunning towards what they call AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence. And basically, that is the point of no return, where the computer is now able to create a new data subset that's not ever been programmed into its memory and start to think and process things on its own.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking of that. You know, remember we used to go to the library. Let's say there's 100 books on the subject. We have to read, as human beings, 100 books, store that information, put something out. So what this is doing now is that has access to those 100 books in 1 second.
1 second.
And can generate it in 10 seconds or less.
Not only
Martin,
those-
how long did it take to write a theme song for Hijack Life Live? What?
Less than 16 seconds.
And you got
Full backup, full band, full, and it doesn't give you an option to make a change for $2.99. And when I heard it, I went, "Oh my Lord!" It was excellent.
Well, how about the time when I pulled up the Chat GBT and I looked up our bios? Remember, I was like, "Chat, tell me everything you know about Joseph Sophia."
Yeah,
And
I
did
said
for
it
all
to
of
you.
us.
Wasn't that funny? Yeah. Well, not only that, I remember the time that you had a little dispute. I don't know if I should say this on the air, but you had a little dispute with your employer, and you read me these 3 paragraphs where you had made an apologetic for your thoughts, and I'm saying, "You didn't write that, Samaj." I said, "There's no way you wrote that." He says, "Yeah, you're right. I put it in." I thought, man, this guy sounds like he's got 5 doctorates, with an IQ of 167 or something. You know what I mean?
buddy, I
Like
got you.
crazy.
Thank you.
Anyway, Pastor.
You don't think I'm that intelligent to write something like that?
No, I think you are.
Thank you. I just wanted the word of affirmation.
How about learning and improvement, Pastor?
Yeah, no, it takes, like Jay was saying, it takes machine learning. They can you learn experiences and improve accuracy without being explicitly reprogrammed for every scenario. So that just means they're taking, like you said, multiple scenarios, there's multiple books, and books that wouldn't even have been in that library. Not only the books in that library, but books across every library you could have ever imagined, and instantly using it.
Crazy. Dr. Weiss, neutral.
Networks, neural networks.
Yeah,
Yeah, first, I mean, this kind of goes in with that, but, you know, we're warned about false teachers. And, you know, the AI right now, until it can think for itself, is really being fed by individuals' own presuppositions. It's just like different pastors have presuppositions, or different theologians have different presuppositions. So you have to be able to discern the source of that AI. Who is putting that information in? I mean, they could skew it towards one presupposition. So you have to be able to, you know, discern that, especially now. But when it comes to the machine being able to think of it on their own, that's the big danger. But neural networks, they're a core component. They're modeled after the human brain that learn to recognize patterns in data to make decisions or predictions. Unfortunately, the ultimate goal for many developers is for humans with AI to have godlike abilities. And I think that, again, the danger is the human aspect of it, what they're feeding in to all these networks. But it's going to come to a point where I think there's always going to be that human who's going to be able to press the right button. But it's the false teachers. I mean, they're putting in their own presuppositions.
Let's come back to something we've said for a while on this program. Remember at the Tower of Babel, the Lord said there wouldn't be anything that man could not accomplish. Whether he's speaking figuratively or literally, he's saying something there, right?
For sure.
And so he gave us all different languages purposefully, so we wouldn't have all this knowledge instantaneously. And I thought that's where we are now, exactly where they were at the Tower of Babel. And I wonder what God's going to do, unless he's just going to bring the world to a close.
Well, we know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of...
And that's, I think, how it's all going to end. You know, he's not going to scatter us all over the place, give us 5 million languages. He's just going to say it's over. And when that is, who knows? Anyway, problem solving, Pastor Blake. Let's look at it in that sense.
Yeah, we've talked around it a little bit, but these systems can make informed decisions, perform tasks, determine best route on a map, or diagnosing a medical condition or anything like that. Like, on the positive end, like, we were literally Lisa and I were planning vacation next year. And I said, here's what we're planning, here's where we're going, this is what we'd like to do, here's some general information, here's what we'd like to spend, give me the best options available. And within 3 minutes, I'll never have to use a travel agent again. I mean, and I won't, right? In the same way, I put in, there are, I think there was 60 worship expressions for the main church services coming in 2026. And I said, here are the 6 worship leaders, here's how many times I want them leading. Please form a schedule that's based on, and I was able to plug in, and it immediately kicked back out. Well, that just literally saved me probably 12 hours.
Mm-hmm. At least, a day. A day's work.
Yeah, there's a lot of good uses.
And that was awesome, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to what Doc was saying. Like, it's going to give you your presupposition. You have to be able to rightly divide truth.
And that's what I was going to say. What happens if the Holy Spirit says to you, hey, Blake, guess what? I don't want so-and-so leading worship on that Sunday.
Yeah.
Even though
this person,
even though you drew lots for it, God's saying, all right, this.
I want
that
this.
wasn't my lot.
It even helps being a pastor or a theologian. I mean, I think somebody here has Logos. I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a new AI component,
Yep.
so I can just put something in the the main bar and just ask them a question. And it does depend on what I have in my program.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot, but I can get summaries and I can get resources and
Logos uses AI. That's all I use to write my messages.
Yeah,
is
me
Logos.
too.
That's
In
what I use.
seconds, I get more than I could even think of.
That's scary. Somebody can do a sermon and not be one word. It's just.
Oh no, there is even a sermon button on there to help you develop it. But the thing is, again, you have to look at those sources. I mean, I have like over almost 10,000 references in mine. But you also have to look at their references. I may pull them up, but you're going to go, oh, that guy's theology is different. I'm not going to use them. So you can't you have to still go a little bit deeper and use your own brain to decide who you're going to pull.
That's like Sunday, I preached for, I told Pastor Blake I was preaching down at Dwelling Place, and I'm right in the midst of my sermon, and the Lord's revealing things I never saw in the text, and I've been reading the Bible since I was 13. Like right there while I was preaching, I just stopped and I said, wow, I just got this, well, if you're Baptist, it's an illumination. If you're Pentecostal, it's a revelation. But I just got this revelation, and I shared it with everybody. Yeah, and it's just, there's a certain aspect of the Spirit and our humanity that AI can never tap.
God's He's going to allow things to be revealed that He wants to be revealed.
That's correct. Now, wasn't Google the first with AI in terms of their phones? Was it? You remember that little thing they promoted? You could press this button and move this hat from this person or whatever. They were the first, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think OpenAI with ChatGPT really is like kind of the original. But as far as the phone is concerned, Google would be the first one to adopt it on a phone. I wanted to add real quick that if you ever see in ChatGPT that it gives a disclaimer, and the more you use it and the higher level questions you ask it, it can what's called hallucinate, where it will give you the wrong answer and make it sound like it's the correct one. So there has to be some level of human discernment.
I deleted ChatGPT Plus, the advanced one you pay for, because it wasted 45 minutes of my time. Describe this video I wanted made. Then it said, okay, here's what I can do, A, B, C, D, and I can also do X, Y, Z. Which one would you prefer? A, B, C. I am not capable at this time. I said, oh, this is for the birds. And how many people are paying $10 a month for that? That's just as bad as a self-driving car. I don't know which one of the late night shows had his aunt in a self-driving car, and it was a spoof. She didn't know, and they all knew, and there was hidden cameras, and the car kept getting lost and rerouted, and it wasn't until she got to the late night show that she realized it was a spoof. But that would take a lot of courage for me to get into a self-driving car.
So let's look at some of the things it does that people may not realize. Martin just said self-driving cars. Samaj?
But then you have like the digital assistants. So you have like AI, you have Meta. Like for example, like the Meta voice on my glasses, like I can ask anything. Like I can even say like what am I looking at? It'll tell me, or I can say
On your glasses?
Yeah, these are the Meta AI glasses. So I could like look at this. I can look at this and be like, what am I looking at? And it'll say, you're looking at.
My point is, you
Source.
don't need those glasses because you have God-given eyes. You know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
The problem I have is people are using AI
So if you look
as
at-
their
if you look at
therapist, as their girlfriend,
Yeah, it's wild.
as their
Yeah, it's insane.
their shrink.
What happens when you look at Martino and ask AI?
Oh my Lord, we don't want to.
I don't
We're
wanna-
moving
I don't
on.
wanna read that
Martino,
out
a
loud.
couple other things it could do.
Oh, it utilizes AI to suggest movies, shows that might be on, based on your viewing history, or based on algorithm from how many people are looking up that video.
Yeah, like if you look up a product online, right? Or even my wife, I know what she's shopping for.
Yeah.
Because social media will give me 5,000 pop-ups that she was looking for eyeliner. You know, I'll say, hey, hon, did you buy eyeliner? She said, why? I said, because my social media just told me you've been looking at every store under God only knows where. Anyway, Samaj, give us another
But
one.
then you have like spam filters, so everyone knows like in their email they get a bunch of ads and things like that from businesses they forgot they signed up for 10 years ago. So what it can do is it can filter them all out. So instead of you searching through which ones to delete, it'll have them already set aside for them to be deleted.
Yeah. Well, that's why Jesus said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life. You know, there's no hallucinations with him. But anyway, let's wrap up. I thought we'd give everybody 30 seconds to say what you wanted to say. And Doc, we'll start with you.
All right, I just want to make sure that the 30 seconds we're talking about is in reference to Daniel's 70 weeks, the way he timed it.
However you want to, however you want to do it.
So this is pretty biblical, so I really got to read it. So I think AI's greatest benefit right now is medical and surgical advancements, is what I see. I think through AI we're going to find cures for a lot of diseases we haven't been able to find cures for. I think there'll be new surgical techniques, probably using robots to do a lot of the surgeries, but I think that's really a major benefit. A lot of scientists claim that there's 10 levels of advancement of AI, and level 5 is really all we need to get through. After 5, it's just going to get more and more detailed. But the scripture reveals that Satan will form a diabolical false trinity, which you have mentioned, in the future, that will lead to a global system, which in all probability will incorporate the highest level of developed AI. You want to consider the biblical scenario in Revelation 13. The false prophet's mission is to do whatever it takes to get all of humanity to worship the Antichrist. The prophecy specifically states that the false prophet was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. That's Revelation 13:15. The text is implicitly clear and emphatic that all people must worship the image of the beast. When one understands the horrific conditions on earth, commencing with the start of the tribulation, it makes perfect sense that the Antichrist will have the perfect opportunity as a powerful and apparently accepted political leader, a human, to force a global economic system. The Satanic Trinity will have the infrastructure in place at the midpoint of the tribulation to control virtually everyone on earth, and will force the masses, including the small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive an identifying mark on their right hand or forehead. The purpose of this mark is to control the individual's ability to buy or sell anything. That's Revelation 13:17. The exact technology used to place a mark on an individual's forehead or right hand is not stated in the scripture specifically. However, there is current technology that fits the scenario described in Revelation 13:16 through 17. In March 2018, Business Insider reported that over 3,000 people in Sweden had small microchips the size of grains of rice implanted in their body for the purpose of identification. These chips give the users access to locked machines, office, and gym doors. Business Insider states that there is no reason why the microchip technology cannot be used just like a credit card. So our imagination can only wonder what else what else these chips could control.
Just a long 30 seconds.
Yeah, well, I'm going by Daniel's 70 weeks.
Yeah,
The
well.
world stage is currently being set for the execution of the diabolical, satanic one world government, religion, and economy. And there should be no doubt that artificial intelligence will play a major role in accompanying the mandate of Revelation 13:15.
You got it. That was the 7th week. Jay, 30 seconds.
Yeah, so I mean, if there's ever a time where we have, been more disconnected as humans, it's right now with the iPhone, and now with AI, and you call up service and you're talking to a robot basically who's going to direct you. You know, as Pastor Blake said, I think that this technology, as fast as it's progressing, you know, can be used properly, but it can also get into, you know, bad hands and used for nefarious purposes.
Which Doc just told us about.
You know,
already predicted in the Bible.
If you look at stuff like the Neuralink with what Elon Musk did, and the fact that if there's ever going to be a mark, I think that it's going to derive out of AI. And quite frankly, I don't even think it needs to be a chip, because a chip can be removed. The fact that you can walk into a supermarket, I forget the one, but it scans your hand and knows what you take off the shelf or put back on the shelf. You walk out the door, there's no cashier, and it charges your card accordingly.
That's Amazon Fresh.
Yeah, China has facial recognition all over China.
So I mean, basically, if you just opt into the system,
he who understands what the mark of the beast means. So we're going to look back and say, oh, that's what God meant. But it'll be clear that you'll just be flagged. Period. Jay will be flagged. Martin will be flagged. You'll go somewhere and they'll say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you can't buy here. You're a Christian." Whatever. Okay, Martino, 30 seconds.
I just think if it's used the right way, it's no different than going from microfiche from Encyclopedia Britannica to Siri, if it's used the right way.
Okay. Pastor Blake?
Yeah, the danger is the relativism in truth. That's the biggest danger that you see, the relativistic truth that's deeply ingrained in society. But the advantage is medical and is the potential connection that allows us to draw people back into in real life experiences.
You know what? If I were to do that print over again that you bought and practically everybody here, the never-changing truth and never-changing world, it would all be AI generated, making the head of Christ. The never-changing truth in this ever-changing world, what's changing from that print to today is what AI generates. Anyway, Smosh?
I mean, I would just say, you know, just use the tools with discernment. And like I think PB said and Pastor Blake said, like, you have to, we as Christians have the ability to make things either sacred or profane.
Yep.
And, you know, we have to use things for the right reasons. And Martin said it perfectly. Like, it's like going from microfiche to this to that. Just use it the right way. I mean, how many people thought that televisions had demons in them? You know what I mean? Like, so think about, like, just understanding, like, you have to understand, use things the right way.
One thing we haven't, I think it's really important from a military standpoint. When you were in Israel, I don't know if you had the opportunity to go to a place. I went to a place that rehabbed injured IDF, and it was sponsored by a data group. And he showed us on a big screen. I mean, there were satellites, there was drones, there was unmanned this, unmanned that, and the whole networking of if there is a threat at this specific point in Gaza, those computers make decisions and deploy every single one of those assets to that point. So here you're taking away human planning for wars, and it's being completely done by a computer. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And that's another danger, is these computers get to a point, who's going to be running these wars? We know there's going to be wars and more wars, but how many of these are going to be started by computers and AI?
Any final, I'm going to just say one thing, what I think, but anybody have one final sentence or two you want to say? Otherwise, I'll close out. Well, I'm just going to say that I believe more than anything else, as I've said, that AI will be one of the members, of the Satanic Trinity. Clearly generated a deceiver like no one has ever seen, and I believe the highest honor I would ever have was if they asked me to recant, and I said no, and I lost my head. I'm telling you, to be a martyr for what I believe would be the greatest honor I could ever have, and I don't fear it at all. I don't. I think, wow, what higher honor? What else could you do? Jesus gave his life for us. If we had to give our life for him, I think that would be our highest honor. I don't fear it. I know some people do, but I don't.
Amen to that. Well, remember to like and share. If there's any questions you have, you can drop a link, and PB will get back to you. If you'd like a transcript of today's copy, he'll also get you that. What is all in the last days?
The name of the transcript.
What's the name of today's transcript?
Yeah.
I don't read the notes.
AI.
That's fine. I thought maybe it was Blake's message this week.
AI in the last days. You're seeing an extra L.
Yep. So our website is hijacklife.org. If you go to YouTube, you can just put in Hijack Life Live. You can see years of these. Don't forget, we have 3 T-shirts to offer, as well as 3 books. The books are 1, Hope Beyond Suicide, 2, When Divorce is Right, 3, Love, Lust, and Lies, and to be published this year is 10 Steps to Christian Guaranteed Growth. All right, 3 T-shirts. One says, "Why are you telling me that?" The other side says, "Stop gossip." One says, "Make life count." The other side says, "Stop bitching, start blessing." And
Hey, wait, I have to tell you. So I sold my shirts at Bobby's.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going to, and I just thought, I'm going to take my shirts. I sold more shirts than I did books, and everybody wanted Make Life Count, Stop Bitching, Start Blessing. I think I've got to do a new order on it.
my favorite one, but we'll leave you with our proclamation.
Yeah, it's your shirt today.
On 1, 2, 3.
Live for Jesus, and even a bad day will be a good day.
See
Love
you
you
next
guys.
week.
Thank you, Doc, Jay,
Thank
Pastor
you,
Blake,
guys.
Samaj, Martino,
Yes.
and yours truly.
Peace.